Welcome back to English Edition. My name is Nicole King and we're going to start off the programme looking at local news so you know exactly what's going on in Marbella now. And then after the break we'll be welcoming local international residents so they can share information on their projects, and I'm sure they're going to be interesting but also perhaps open up new doors and opportunities for us. So let's start off with local news. An icon of Marbella's tourism growth is a step closer to returning. The Incasol Hotel, closed for more than a decade, has secured its building licence. The redevelopment, costing almost €100 million, now moves forward with the City Council's approval. Marbella is the Andalusian city with the largest number of five-star hotel beds. In recent years, many hotels have accelerated upgrades to their facilities. Incasol, shut since 2012, is set for an even more ambitious relaunch once the detailed construction plan is filed. On Tuesday, the local government granted the project its urban planning licence, the largest hotel permit to date, at over €87 million, rising to nearly $90 million including prior investment. The scheme covers 47,000 square metres of refurbishment and redevelopment.
Donde cuenta 34.000 metros van destinados a zonas libres, áreas verdes y zona de piscina. Sanitarios son 21.000 metros cuadrados y zona de hotel 5 estrellas, estamos hablando de algo más de 6.000 metros cuadrados. En total serán unas 168 habitaciones, donde el 80% prácticamente serán habitaciones dedicadas al ámbito sanitario.
Incasol was a pioneer in Marbella, combining hotel facilities with wellness and health services since 1973. The new plan includes a hospital and clinic area, alongside a full modernisation of its medical offering, with units focused on aesthetics and longevity.
Y por supuesto, como les decía, pues aplicando todos los más modernos sistemas de eficiencia, de sostenibilidad, para hacer un edificio absolutamente inteligente y que sea puntero en este tipo de tratamientos y que por lo tanto Marbella complete su oferta turística.
A project of this scale is expected to enhance the city's high-end offer and act as a stimulus for the local economy and employment. The Town Hall has concluded its programme marking European Democracy Week. The Town Council recognised the work of several primary schools, José Banús, Fuentenueva and Pinolivo, and highlighted the important role of the Municipal Council for children and adolescents. Events for European Democracy Week closed with an award to the Social Rights Department for its work with the Municipal Council for Children and Adolescents. Primary schools were also honoured for their projects. José Banús for Villa Banús, which turns the school into a small town each day, Fuentenueva for its road safety circuit, and Pinolivo for Infancia Invisible, invisible infancy.
Es muy curioso cómo el alumnado enseguida asume que tienen un papel importante. Tenemos todo tipo de oficios en el centro.
Un proyecto que ha funcionado muy bien, sigue funcionando y seguirá funcionando, porque lo que traslada es la importancia de cooperar unos con otros.
Pedimos que los niños y las niñas sean mirados, los adolescentes, y que pues los entes públicos, ayuntamientos, escuelas, institutos, estemos ahí ofertando a la infancia y a la adolescencia pues de esos espacios y tiempos que ellos necesitan.
This brought a close to an intensive programme which, this year, also coincided with the 40th anniversary of the European Charter of Local Self-Government.
La participación ciudadana debe ser activa, debemos escuchar las propuestas de todos los vecinos con independencia de su edad.
Ha sido todo un éxito en cuanto a participación, el tema de los distritos, también las jornadas de puertas abiertas que tuvimos el pasado sábado, la oportunidad de compartir este edificio con muchos vecinos y colectivos, y a vosotros por hacerlo posible.
San Pedro Alcántara's Fair opened last Tuesday and the fairground came alive on its first night. Headline moments were Juanjo Alcántara's opening address and the coronation of the Queens and Ladies, a clear signal that the festivities are underway. The opening of the San Pedro Alcántara Fair had a distinctly flamenco flavour. Spanish sparkle, humour, emotion and artistry. Juanjo Alcántara, a San Pedro native, delivered the opening address to launch festivities in honour of the patron saint. He began the event singing and ended it the same way. Juanjo recalled that he has always lived the fair intensely, whether just going to enjoy it or working it as a cameraman or as cantaor. He offered affectionate nods to colleagues who have accompanied him in his career, Pepe Ortega, Juan Campos, Antonio Rojas and Juanma Fernandez, and to his father, who encouraged his musical path. He also had words for the Fiesta's Commission Councillor, with whom he shares many fond fair memories.
Entonces, claro, yo he vivido cosas como la primera barra de la Feria de Día, en la calle en medio, que mi padre y sus compañeros, su primo Manuel Alcántara, que en gloria esté, que murió hace unos escasos semanas, pues asignaron la primera barra, al colega, que de hecho a día de hoy sigue todavía su taberna abierta.
The traditional coronation of the Queens and Ladies was attended by numerous members of the governing team. The mayor, Ángeles Muñoz, highlighted the warmth and good cheer of this year's fair's honorary ambassador.
Siempre hemos sabido que era una persona con luz, una persona que transmitía, una persona que de verdad le brotaba el arte. Hoy lo has demostrado. Todos sabemos el arte que tiene, pero también sabemos que quieres a San Pedro.
Although the fair runs until the 20th of October, the opening night drew a large crowd despite being midweek. Representatives of the opposition groups, the PSOE, OSP and Vox, were also present for the inauguration.
San Pedro siempre está en todo momento y eso es de agradecer para la gente que estamos trabajando.
The evening closed with a further musical performance by pop flamenco singer Juanlu Montoya. 4 very different, highly respected writers will headline the 6th edition of the Writers' Library series. The idea is simple: to learn more about their own particular libraries, the influences that shaped them, and the books that keep them up at night. The first event is next week. On the 21st of October, poet and novelist Manuel Villas will open the Writers' Library series, organised for the 6th year by the Cultural Department. All talks will take place at El Hospitalillo at 7 p.m. Jesus Marchamalo, journalist and writer, will lead the conversations with each guest.
Y en esa conversación, a través de ese objeto, que es la biblioteca suya, de ese escritor, bueno, pues vamos descubriendo 1000 anécdotas sobre él mismo, pero también cómo se ha convertido en escritor, cuáles son sus lecturas preferidas, la manera de ordenar la biblioteca también explica muchas de las cosas de la personalidad de ese escritor.
The second session will be held on the 31st of October with writer, musician and illustrator David Uclés from Jaén, whose novel La Península de las Casas Vacías has become one of the year's literary successes.
Que lleva ya vendidos más de 150.000 ejemplares de su novela La Península de las Casas Vacías, que ya ha recibido el premio Andalucía de la Crítica, el premio Cálamo también, y bueno, y sobre todo que ha sido un boom en cuanto a ventas y en cuanto a lectores apasionados de su obra.
In November, the final 2 encounters will be held. Gioconda Belli, the Nicaraguan poet and novelist now based in Madrid after being declared a traitor by her homeland, who managed to bring her library out of the country clandestinely, will now be in Marbella on the 12th of November. The series concludes on the 13th of November with Ignacio Martínez de Pisón, one of the most significant novelists of his generation. It's our longest thoroughfare, almost 27 kilometres, and one of Marbella's leading visitor attractions, the Seafront Promenade. The City Council has now completed maintenance works on one of its access points, that of Calle Arturo Rubinstein. Over the past 3 weeks, as part of the city's conservation and maintenance plan, the Works Department has upgraded the Calle Arturo Rubinstein access to the Seafront Promenade. The repairs focused on a stairway more than 30 years old to improve structural safety and put a stop to persistent leaks.
Eliminar que el agua de la lluvia pudiese afectar a la estructura y reconducirla de manera que no afecte y reforzar también otras zonas que eran necesarias. Al mismo tiempo había algunas jardineras que por diferentes circunstancias estaban siendo o provocando muchas filtraciones a la escalera, por lo tanto podían comprometer la misma estructura y lo que se hizo ha sido pues eliminarla.
The upgrade also included 3 new drains tied into the stormwater system and the installation of a waterproofing layer.
Gracias al plan de conservación y mantenimiento de la ciudad provoca que este tipo de incidencias se pueden arreglar de una manera rápida y dirigente y a partir de ese momento lo que hemos hecho, como no puede ser de otra manera, es actuar, mejorar la zona.
The department notes that, while this is not a showpiece project, it directly improves pedestrian safety at a key residential and tourist location. With less than a month to go, Marbella is gearing up to host the Ironman World Championship, an event on a staggering scale. Throughout that weekend, the city expects almost 40,000 visitors between athletes and companions. The City Council has already installed photo-op markers and information panels at key points, with practical details on the race and where it will most impact locals. On the 8th and 9th of November, Marbella will welcome 7,000 athletes and around 30,000 companions as it hosts the Ironman World Championship for the first time.
Hay una prueba deportiva sin precedente en la ciudad debido a la complejidad logística que tiene el evento y que por lo tanto queremos que desde un primer momento todo el mundo sepa que el 8 y 9 de noviembre la circulación en la ciudad va a ser muy complicada, la circulación habitual va a ser muy difícil y que por lo tanto tienen que empezar a estudiar cuál va a ser los recorridos alternativos.
To help residents plan ahead, the Sports Department has placed 15 information points at strategic locations where traffic will be most affected. There will also be a radio campaign and direct notices in the busiest areas. Traffic restrictions will mainly apply from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with signposted alternative routes in place.
En la página web del Ayuntamiento, a través del programa Sigma, daremos a conocer también que se va a publicar los recorridos oficiales, una simulación de recorridos oficiales y también la ruta alternativa que la población podrá utilizar en caso de querer desplazarse a lo largo de esta prueba.
Playa de Levante, Puerto Banús, will be the event hub hosting the nearly 2-kilometre sea swim. The 90-kilometre bike course will extend into neighbouring municipalities such as Coín, Cártama, Monda and Ojén, and the half marathon will be on the Seafront Promenade.
Es un evento que, como digo, contará con 3.000 personas en cuanto a organización, también 150 vehículos que formarán parte del dispositivo no solo rodado, sino también a nivel marítimo. Y por supuesto también unos 130 cuerpos y fuerzas de seguridad del Estado, de policía local, acompañado también de un gran número de voluntarios de protección civil.
Residents are encouraged to plan alternative routes now for an event set to make local history, with just over 3 weeks to go. There is now no turning back. Marbella's new courts complex will become a reality. The Mayor and Regional Ministers for Public Works and Justice have signed an agreement under which the City Council will fund and build the access roads to the site. Works are scheduled from 2026 to 2029, while in parallel, the single, modern and future-proof judicial headquarters will also be constructed. The City Council will finance and execute the accesses to the future courts complex with a total budget of €19.7 million. The project is now being finalised with works planned between 2026 and 2029. This follows lengthy negotiations and Friday's agreement between the Mayor and the Regional Ministers for Public Works and Justice, a decisive step towards delivering the new judicial facility.
Primera fase, doblamos los metros que tenemos ahora mismo en uso. Estamos en torno a 6.800 metros actualmente, pasaremos a cerca de 15.000 metros en la primera fase. Dejaremos ordenada y desarrollada la planificación de crecimiento futuro, porque una de las cosas que necesitamos, además de una nueva sede, es un incremento en las plazas judiciales.
The Regional Ministry of Public Works, the Ministro de Fomento, will oversee this strategic project on the A355. Once completed, the Junta will assume maintenance and operations, except for the internal area, which will remain a municipal road.
Marbella se hizo con un suelo de equipamiento en la zona de la carretera de Ojén, que permitirá albergar la propia Guardia Civil, que también requería unas instalaciones modernas, a la Policía Nacional, que necesitaba de mayor espacio, a esa ansiada ciudad de la justicia, y probablemente alguna otra instalación más, de algún otro cuerpo más, como puede ser nuestra policía local.
Water and energy management in the tourism industry took centre stage at Les Roches Marbella during a professional forum. Experts from both the public and private sectors examined the shift towards a regenerative, responsible tourism model. The sector acknowledges that sustainability is a planned, a continuous guiding principle, particularly in light of climate change.
Expertos en turismo se han reunido en Les Roches Marbella con un objetivo claro: compartir las buenas prácticas en la gestión del agua y la energía, y también explorar la tecnología como medio de mejorar la sostenibilidad.
Managing water and energy sustainably is a challenge for the tourism sector and for cities whose economies largely depend on it. An expert meeting was held at Les Roches Marbella to share best practice, present new projects and showcase technology tools that support sustainability.
Tener en cuenta que cada edificio o cada actividad que se inaugure debe tener un análisis completamente profundo de cuál va a ser el nivel de utilización de los recursos naturales y especialmente del agua. Establecer certificaciones que acrediten que se va a hacer una gestión hídrica adecuada y también tener en cuenta que hay una limitación en la capacidad de carga del territorio, que el crecimiento no puede ser ilimitado.
The second Green and Blue Summit underlined a clear message: sustainability is the new luxury. The tourism industry is increasingly focused on maintaining a structured, long-term environmental strategy.
Antes quizás el lujo se percibía como el ego de las personas, el figurar, la abundancia. Hoy en día aquellas personas, aquellas empresas que pues pueden disfrutar digamos de una serie de servicios premium, lo primero que buscan es que donde reciben ese servicio sea un servicio que cuida el medio ambiente, que cuida el entorno, que es sostenible.
Speakers also stressed that to balance tourism and local life, sustainability must be environmental, social and economic.
Para tener calidad del servicio necesitamos tener buenos profesionales. Y para tener buenos profesionales hace falta darles dos cosas. 1, empleo estable, empleo de calidad. Y 3, vivienda, lugar donde vivir. Entonces, todo se conecta. Entonces, no tenemos que olvidar lo que hemos dicho antes, que al final los 3 factores son fundamentales.
The initiative was supported by the Marbella City Council, the Costa del Sol Hoteliers Association and water management firms Hidralia and Acasol. We're going to start off our interviews with our CIT Marbella Guest of the Week, welcoming back Xavi Borsos of Logis School Coding Academy. Xavi, lovely to see you again.
I'm glad to be here back, Nicole. Thanks very much.
You have one of the businesses that I most appreciate in our community because you are passionate about educating our youth on the things that they're going to need to survive in today's world of apps, coding, programming. So firstly, thank you on behalf of our city because you're very involved with all the schools and with your own academy. So I'm really delighted that our viewers can hear more about Logis School if they've not heard of it before.
Oh yes, thanks very much. And I think this is a great time of the year talking about the importance of this type of education. So the last 2 months, September, October, was very busy for us because we started with the new academic year. We obviously with new challenges, new teachers, new courses, new content. And as you may know, all the people who are listening to your programs know already, LogiSchool is an international brand and we are one of the leaders in digital education. And why we do this, why we are so passionate about it? Because we think that the leaders of tomorrow will be the kids who will understand how to work and cope with platforms like ChatGPT or Gemini, because if you know how to communicate with computers, you will have knowledge to lead big corporate companies, and this is what we do in our courses, starting from really early age, from 6 years up to 18. So from primary to secondary schools, we have many kids. And most of all, I would say many parents are coming nowadays to our programs with an open eyes, because they don't really know when we are talking about digital education and what is artificial intelligence for their kids. So first of all, I have to mention how we can limit screen time nowadays. It's a very important topic to talk about. And obviously, I would say they don't have to be afraid of screen time. Now the big question is, how you use screen time. Are you passively using computers or tablets or any digital device as a gamer or watching YouTube videos, or you can create your own content, let's just say. And in our courses, we develop video games. It's a fun activity. It's an after-school activity once a week, 90 minutes. But at the same time, we have an international community. So kids can log in from home and they can share their projects, ideas, interact with other kids. And I think it's a great advantage for our students because we are literally all around the world. We have over 360 schools in 5 continents. And this year we reached a milestone because we got more than 320,000 kids started to code in our schools, and I would say there are 2 main reasons why became LogiSchool so successful in this digital education. One point, I think, because the school system left behind digital education and they didn't discover the importance of digital skills. And second of all, labor market is just demanding, and in the technology sector more and more people needed with programming skills, logical thinking, and also understanding basic algorithms. And as a coding academy, we never said that now everyone has to be a programmer, because we are all different. Someone will be a TV presenter as you yourself, or others will be actors in cinemas. And me, myself, I was acting back in the days. But I also realized that this is a knowledge what needed for the future generation. And we have now Elviria School. We also have another school in San Pedro de Alcántara. So these strategic points covering Costa del Sol, because we have kids coming to the Elviria location from Fuengirola, and to the San Pedro location we have kids coming from Estepona, Cancelada.
Can you also do it online for those that can't come to you? That option is there as well, from what I understood, to be involved, or do they need to be presential as well and just find the closest LogiSchool?
Very good point. Thanks very much for the question. Definitely. So first of all, when kids are coming from primary schools, I recommend them to have few sessions offline in the schools. But technically, since COVID 2020, yes, we do have online sessions, and they can join the sessions from their home. If they got sick, they're traveling, and I'm constantly receiving many messages from parents. Sorry, Sabi, we are traveling abroad, and my kids still want to join your lesson. Can you do it? Yeah. Do it from home or do wherever you are.
It's absolutely an amazing opportunity. Personally, thinking about it, when we don't understand things, it's when problems come up. children who understand coding, what's going on with the artificial intelligence, I imagine you also teach them how to protect themselves, which for me is very important, them understanding how they need to be aware of what else is out there that maybe not be of their convenience.
It's very important, of course. We implemented this type of content back in 2020 when we started to talk about cybersecurity. Very important because when you're chatting, for example, in any video game, you don't know who is the other person behind the computer, who you are chatting with. So make sure that kids are not sharing their personal details, where do they live, how old are they, which schools are they going to, because it's very difficult to identify that type of person who is behind that. And kids are more aware of it. And for example, we're talking about how to secure your accounts, make sure you're logging out from each account where you're using, how to secure your password. What is a secure password? You have to use, numbers, different characters, and most of all, don't use your name. And for example, don't use your birthday because it's very easy to predict. And there is a very special website where you can check how secure is your password. And kids just loving to play with that because you will see how easy to hack your passwords.
It's quite a fascinating situation, but scary in some aspects with the launch of the new Sora artificial intelligence that basically making videos that look like they're real. For me, the worries of being caught out, particularly youngsters, because they're so impressionable, that again, I think going to a school as yours is fundamental. Do you also go to schools that don't have these facilities but incorporate it? Are you open to that as well?
Absolutely. We collaborate with many schools in the area. Let's just mention 3-4 of them. EIC in Elviria. Then we have the British International School, who we are started to collaborate this academic year. And we also collaborate with Swans Primary School. We did for many years with the Swans, and I'm still negotiating with other schools as well. And now I feel that the need is there, and we have waiting lists in our courses most of the time in those private schools. But I think public schools are also opening their eyes, and they started to ask lately what we really do. And what I experienced the last couple of years here in local level, that in Marbella and in San Pedro there are great local academies dedicating mostly about robotics and different type of devices. But things are happening, very often that, the robot falls off on the table and it breaks, and it's very difficult, to teach kids of 6-7 years of age when you have a robot that is very expensive. So I don't want to compete with those local players of the education market. So instead of just offering robotics, we offering the whole world of programming. So we really guide the kids from the beginner level up to very advanced levels where they get to know different programming languages as Python, Unity, C#, and they can get international certificates with the institution of Python. So it's same like in English, you get the Cambridge certificate, B1, B2, C1 is the same for us. And what first of all, my biggest objective is to create a career path from Logischool Marbella to the Malaga Tech Park, where there are lots of corporate companies looking for young talents who they understand what is the main objective with our education.
It sounds fabulous, and I'm realising that over the years that we've been talking, my granddaughter is now 7 and old enough to come to Logischool. So if you have any openings, and if not, we'll put her on the waiting list. Sabi, thank you very much. Really informative. Thank you ever so much for your efforts. And don't forget, get more information from Logischool Coding Academy to see if it's good for your kids, your grandkids, because it's definitely the way of the future. It's where we're going. Thanks you so
very much,
much.
Nicole. Thank you.
delighted to welcome to the studio two lovely ladies who together make up Sober Socials. Now, this is something after my own heart with the Zero Hero initiative, rewarding designated drivers with free soft drinks. Getting a designated driver is a great way of staying safe, and not drinking is another one. And there's no reason you can't have fun if you don't drink. I don't know why people think that is the case, because it certainly isn't. And I know that Emma and Louise are going to be able to help us clarify this. Welcome to the programme, Emma, Louise. Isn't it strange how people have this philosophy of if you don't drink, you can't have fun?
Absolutely. We're all about trying to change the agenda around that and to normalise the fact that it doesn't matter if you drink or you don't drink. You don't have to justify if you don't want to drink alcohol, and that we can still have fun, connect, and actually have real meaningful connections with people, whether we drink alcohol or not. But we are all about trying to fill this gap that we're not drinking. We're very happy and feel much more free and more authentic, the fact that we're having connections with people who are like-minded like us.
Louise, this sense of having to justify oneself when we decide that we don't want to have a drink is funny, because the same thing when someone, why not? And you feel like you have to give a reason why not. It's socially unacceptable to do that. Is this something that happened in your lives? What instigated this movement of Sober Socials?
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for having us on, Nicole, and for being so supportive. That's really great to be here, very exciting. And yeah, I mean, Emma and I have met just by chance. I answered a post by Ali Mian from Costa Women.
I love our leader.
Yes, and she said, you know, what decision have you made that's completely changed your life? And I was like, oh my God, well, for me, definitely quitting the booze. And Emma also replied to that. And so we kind of hooked up and we met, and we realised, you know, we're both very passionate about being non-drinkers and how actually it's great not being, relying on booze for X, Y, Z. And also that we both really care about spreading the joys of living an alcohol-free life. And, we want to motivate and celebrate this movement. So there is definitely like a lack of community for women that don't drink. And yeah, there's that perceived idea that you don't drink, you must be boring, and so it's quite lonely to a space to be in as a non-drinker, because it's what everybody's doing.
Exactly.
So yeah,
and I think younger generations are starting to question that and make more conscious decisions. But I think certainly our generation, maybe it's a bit different, and people do come out and have outright asked me, "Oh, does that mean you're an alcoholic?" And it's like, well, I can make a decision that what's right for me. It doesn't mean anything about me, whether I'm an alcoholic or not. I've just made a choice that works for me, and there's no judgment about anyone else that's drinking. But we've just found what works for us, and we're very passionate about creating a space that other people feel comfortable to do the same or experiment with doing the same.
I really appreciate it myself. I'm not a drinker, and a lot of times if people go out, I'm thinking, well, what will I do? They're all sitting there drinking, and obviously when people do drink, their personalities change. Yeah. Some are sweet and friendly, and a lot just get very vociferous and a bit unpleasant. And if you're not in that same frame of mind, it can be quite uncomfortable. So I love creating spaces where it's not expected. Yeah. So how are you going about this, Emma? What's the plan to get people together, or is it just women, or what's the format?
Well, great question. We're starting with Sober Socials. We've literally just launched this just over a week ago, and it just feels like a flurry. There's obviously a huge kind of demand or interest in this kind of event. So we're experimenting with our first event next week, Thursday the 23rd of October. It's for like-minded women, whether they're sober curious, whether they haven't been drinking for some time, whatever. Even if you just don't want to drink for a couple of hours and just to see how it is. We're having our first event at the Panorama Beach Club in La Cala de Mijas.
Lovely.
Which is an absolutely beautiful location. I'm sure you know it already, Nicole. It's just a stunning location overlooking the beach. And it's mocktail and mingle, just an opportunity to come along and, meet us, meet other women, and just take it from there. And we're literally experimenting with what works, and we're very open to, other people's suggestions, and just see what demand there is, and we'll take it from there.
Well, I think it's a fabulous initiative, and I hope that we can get Zero Hero incorporated there, because my thing, hashtag better together, if we're all supporting the same cause, because I have nothing against people drinking, but it would be nice not to see, particularly ladies of a certain age, leaving these luncheons, falling into their cars. They're clearly incapable of driving, so looking for a designated driver for me is a good start. And then also having areas that we can go to meet like-minded people that are having fun, because we can have fun without drinking. Yeah, so maybe if you're shy you need a drink, but if you're meeting groups of women, because that's the idea, right, just to make friends and get different social aspects together. No preaching.
No, oh God, no, absolutely. It's just women who are just authentically being themselves, and they don't need to have the booze as a centre stage. We just want to meet, chat, laugh, and just, celebrate not drinking.
Wonderful. Do you have a WhatsApp group or a Facebook or Instagram? How do we follow you, get involved?
Yeah, all of the above. We've got Sober Social CDS Instagram, Facebook page, and you can also find us hello@sobersocials.es.
Perfect. Well, we just shoved you in the programme because this event is coming up, and we really wanted to make sure that we shared the information. So perhaps after this first event, you can come back again, because you'll have more idea how it went, and we can keep the community involved so they can follow along.
Fabulous. Thank you.
That'd be great.
Really proud of you girls.
Oh,
Yay!
Thank you for supporting us so much. It's really appreciated.
Well, I was delighted that you contacted me, and delighted that we can give you a platform to share this amazing initiative. Sober Socials. Viva!
Thanks, Nicole.
In my experience, Linea Directa is superb when it comes to insurance, particularly for expats. I have met the dedicated English-speaking team that answers our phone calls. Real people with real families who take pride in providing the best service. Whether it's for home insurance, car, motorbike, they will ensure you get the policy best suited to you. They've also got new policies, especially for our pets and anti-squatter. Everything is in English, everyone is friendly, and everyone is truly doing their best for us. Call 952 14 78 34 or go to their website lineadirector.com for further details. Kate Emily Hill has one of those faces that is well known in our city. Everybody loves her, she's sweet as can be, and everyone is delighted that she's launched finally a project for herself, by herself, the Allegre Studio. Allegre being Kate's brand, as we all know you, Kate. Allegre meaning joyful, which you are. Congratulations, Kate Allegre.
Oh, thank you so much. Honestly, I can only say that it's just been so exciting so far. Like, I know that I say this all the time, but I literally just love meeting new people, love meeting people to know their ideas, and I just feel like it's just literally so magic just being able to see like all the creations come to life.
Over the past years, I've watched you. You're a children's fashion designer, you're an amazing event organizer, and you're a fabulous connector. And that is definitely your forte. But it's very heartwarming to see that finally you are doing something for you, because you've promoted many fitness and Pilates things. I believe you yourself now are qualified to give Pilates. Is this true? You've really gone all out.
So do you know what? I think at the beginning of this year, I really did kind of set like a goal for myself to kind of do things that scare me. And I think that this is something that people have been telling me for so long to do, to be like, Kate, push the boundaries, do something different. And when you're always just kind of like, I just don't know if I can, I don't know. But this year I was just like, do you know what? Like, just don't hold back, just go for it. So to answer your question, I am learning. This is a real new thing, is yoga bears. And I know that you've met my lovely friend.
Fabulous. I'm delighted. And my grandchildren, they take their yoga bears with them everywhere. They had a really, really strong attachment with the system, with you, with the teacher. It was a wonderful experience.
And do you know what? I think, like, as I say, the lovely Estelle, who is the owner of Yoga Bears, like she's been telling me for so long. She's like, Kate, I'm gonna get you one day. I'm gonna get you. And as I say, it just didn't. I don't know. It just wasn't the right moment. But over the last like I think 6 months, we've been kind of like doing a lot of things online, and I've been learning the systems. So within the I would say that within the next 3 weeks is when it's going to be like my first kind of.
Well, you know, two little girls that are definitely going to be coming to Yoga Bears. Unbelievable, because they have such great experience from when they tried it with Estelle. We did it outside in the park. It was a lovely experience. So let's talk about your multi-purpose space by the roundabout opposite Puerto Banús. So great location. Yeah. And very simple, but very efficient. I mean, you're really covering a lot of different classes and courses.
Do you know what? I think, like, as you say, it is such a simple space, a simple idea, but it's one that just wasn't really around. So it's been so lovely, like having people come in, hearing their responses. And I think because with most studios, there's not many that have just the natural light. And with the studio that we have, it's just, if anything, there's too much natural light. We actually had someone the other day and they said, could we put some blackout blinds in here? So it is really lovely, because we always say it's like a home from home. So it's like any brand, anyone could come in and make it their own, whether or not you've got an online business or you're, as you say, a wellness teacher, yoga teacher, you want to do a photo shoot, or you just simply want to create content. It really is something that you can just make your own and transform for your creative ideas.
That definitely is the difference with other places that have facilities. But I think at the price point that you have and the facility of taking it for half an hour, having that continuity, and you've already got pole dancing there, children's ballet, you've had loads of photo shoots, a load of local influencers who have come to use the space. So it must be nice to see, because I think it is a testament to you that people really have come out and support you, haven't they? It's been a very heartwarming again to watch how everyone's like, oh, Kate's doing something, go Kate, go.
Do you know what? I think, like, I know that we talk about this all the time, like say Better Together, but it really is just such a lovely community feel. And, you know, as you say, like, you know, obviously yourself, like, everyone has just been so supportive and just so lovely. And do you know what? I think it's so nice, like, obviously, as you say, like, I've always been the one that's, you know, organising events or doing things, but it's actually really nice to kind of like take a little step back and actually not have to be so involved, but I can still be involved and have that flavour of, you know, the event side, the fitness side, the fashion and stuff, but it's all, as you say, like under one umbrella. So it is really, really lovely.
It is. Kate Allegri is taking over the world, but your way. And I love that you are doing something for yourself.
Thank you.
Because whatever you're offering everybody else, you know, is going to be done with love and genuine, that you care that they're going to be a success, which is definitely the recipe and the secret for success.
And do you know what? I think, as you say, like, taking from that, like, I think we really wanted to create a space where, you know, for everyone around Marbella, in Marbella, you know, in the surrounding, to come in and not feel like they're being robbed. So, you know, you come in and you haven't got an extortionate price point that you're thinking, oh my God, I can't relax because I've only got an hour, but I paid this price. So we really wanted to do like a real, like, as I say, like a real nice price where you come in, you feel relaxed, you're like, do you know what, if I do an extra hour, you know, no pasa nada.
Yeah, and it is, because sometimes the business aspect takes over so much that it takes away the alegría.
Exactly.
And we don't want to lose that joy.
No, never. We want the light to stay always.
We do. Well, you are light and persona. I mean, you just brighten up every place. Our lovely Kate Allegri, congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
And if I don't see you before, I see you on Good Morning Spain, because this is our Bridget Jones on Good Morning Spain, willing to try out all crazy things so we don't feel nervous to do so. And I think this is another thing. Starting up your own business, doing something for yourself is absolutely a very wise step forward.
Thank you.
We're delighted
so
for you.
Thank you.
Watch this space, watch that face.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Delighted to welcome to the programme now Holly Doyle. She is an intuitive coach. What does that mean? Well, let's find out. Holly, welcome to the programme, and lovely to see you in quality today as an intuitive coach. What does that mean, sweetheart?
Thanks for asking and thanks for having me. It's mainly about getting to know a person from their heart. So it's more about learning what they would love in their life and how they create that, because most people are unaware that they create everything, absolutely everything from business, relationships, love, home, environment, where they live. And it's so exciting for me to introduce others to that, because that's what I've been learning about in my life, and that's what I take my clients through. So it's not just like business and strategy and logic, and intuition's more about the things that are not logical, like taking a challenge and going for it. It's how do I explain that? It's like going for, say you see yourself on TV, but you don't know the steps, and you don't need to know the steps. It's just like, just completely go for what you love, and as you're just going through your life, meandering through your life, then say for example I'm at the swimming pool enjoying myself, I get a phone call from yourself, like Nicole, saying, would you like to come on the TV and speak about swimming? And I was like, oh my goodness, you know, where does this come from? You know, it's like all the nice things come when you're in your best, your heart, it's your genius actually, so it's your greatness.
I think a lot of people, just because of, I don't want to say programming, but we are educated from very tiny to do as we're told, be like everybody else, not break the norms, not create a fuss. And yet when you grow up, it's actually the opposite. It's our individuality that is going to be probably our path to success. So therefore breaking out of norms and habits is very difficult when we've been herded into a group for most of our younger lives.
Yeah, you're so right. Like everyone has a memory of their teacher being a bit mean to them when they were just sweetly saying, can I just do this instead of what you're proposing? And then that stops people being in their creativity and asking for what they'd love, you know, because I remember myself, I said, can I do the sacre? She was, no, you're doing egg and spoon. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that then. But it does hurt, and it's something that then on a bigger scale now, it makes me question, is this really what I want? And it's going back to this second spoon race, which is...
How like, curious is that?
I know, it's like... But it's the little things that still play a part, because we are actually cyclical. We work on a spiral, so things that we learnt were a hard no when we were younger, it keeps coming around and kinking around in our energy. So it's just to be aware of that, and the intuitive work that I do, it's kind of psychic. So you go into your heart, you become an innocent being in our spirit self, and then we give a reading for the client or someone who wants a reading, and so that you're finding out the essence of yourself, which is, what would you love? And it's going back to the egg and spoon race. It's like, I want a sack race. I want to be a swimmer. I want to be an Olympic swimmer. I want to, go down to the beach and actually relax in a sunbed. And so many people, I'm in business meetings and they say, I get my clients, these people say they get their clients from, lots of phone calls and rah, 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 and push, push, push. And I say, wow, I get my clients on a sunbed. And they go, oh, right, and I've not even thought of that. And, it's so...
You don't necessarily have to work hard.
No.
Working happy works. What was your pivotal moment, Holly, that you tuned into that this was the way forward?
It's because lots of good things have happened to me, and I've always felt a bit embarrassed by it, actually, because I came from quite humble beginnings and parents that just really loved me, wanted me to have things, but sometimes didn't have the money to do it or the ability to, because of time restraints on their work. But then after university, I was like, I'm going travelling, so I went travelling to Australia. And lots of amazing things happened, such big coincidences that just... Anyway, so I met Will Smith. I was teaching him his kids to swim. I was like, how on earth does this happen? And then I met a lovely gentleman in Perth, and he was like, I need someone to look after my house while I'm away, so it would do me an honour if you could actually look after the place for free. I was like, what? And this is like a penthouse in the middle of Perth. And then as he was leaving the country, he said, I have a Maserati and I actually don't want to leave it in Perth, and I'm going to be moving back to Scotland. I would love you to have it, all this stuff. So I was like, right, there's something here. that I need to learn how to replicate this for others. So that's when I got into alchemy. So it's not just coaching, actually, it's more the psychic stuff. So we get to really know your heart, what's on there. So for example, mine's the sunbathing. Like, who knew? But when I went into my heart, I could see this. So just being on a sunbed and then I'm just relaxing, enjoying the weather, the swimming, and clients will message me and say, can I work with you? And I was like, wow, this actually does work.
It does
So
work.
you have to get brave, and going into your heart is actually one of the very subtle but brave things to do. And that's how I got to work with Will Smith, because I was in Perth thinking about what would I like to do, and a job came up in Sydney, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go over to Sydney and see what it's like. So I went over there, and the manager said that he's had an inquiry from Will Smith. I was like, yeah, whatever, because you're such pranksters. I don't believe you. And then I was just in the hydro pool teaching babies to swim, and he comes in with his baby.
It just goes to show
drowning in the pool.
The only limitations are the ones we put on ourselves. Quickly before we finish, the vault, is this part of this intuitive coaching? Is it completely different? Because it's something that people can get involved with as well.
Everyone is welcome to join. I obviously do the one-to-one coaching, but the beauty of the vault is it's a group energy. So the participants of that are people that want to have a change in their life, or they're interested in something new, or something that they've never sort of stepped towards, like they've always had this idea to move to Barbados and they've never done it, or they want to become more wealthy and see what that's like in their life. But come with anything, your health, anything, and in that group synergy we go into psychically what you would love to create, and that's like a group heart. It's quite hard to explain, but it's psychic again. We're going to do feeling into everyone's hearts and seeing what that vision is, and because we're all holding it together and we've all got this like-minded, it's like a generous heart to hold this vision. That will go on for 5 weeks, and that will add momentum to your vision. And then as well as that, we're playing with shadow, so we're looking at shadow side.
Never heard of that before.
The shadow is all the patterns that you actually might not be aware of, but some of them you might be aware of, so we can do that psychically too. So you're looking at the things that are tripping you up or in your way, and it's quite a nice process because it's all done through the heart. So it's not like you've done this wrong or you're not good at this. It's like, oh yeah, do that thing, and I'll be more aware of that this week, and then that week passes and there's more energy building on your vision. So,
and you're not doing it alone, which is lovely. Taking that step forward with someone holding your hand, such as our lovely Holly. Thank you so much, Holly.
You're so welcome.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you for having me on.
Oh,
it's
so
so nice
absolute
to
pleasure.
Spread this gorgeous news and energy, and
it's nice to know more about it. And I am actually signed up for the vault, so in a few weeks' time we'll have you back, and then we could talk about how it went. I'll give you first-hand feedback.
So excited for you.
I'm very excited for me too, because it's like, even when we've got lots of things we feel capable, there's so many things that I think we can deal with having a little bit of extra help and guidance. So very grateful for that opportunity. I'm very grateful that you all joined us for English Edition. You can watch recordings of the programme from the rtvmarbella.tv website, with links to the show that you can watch again at your leisure. And take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and I look forward to seeing you again next week for more news and what's going on in Marbella now. Bye for now.